$13 billion. That's how much money has been recovered through a single free government tool since 2016, life insurance benefits that families were owed and never collected. And that's just what's been found. There are policies sitting in insurance company databases right now, fully paid up, fully valid, waiting to be claimed by beneficiaries who have no idea they exist. 1 in 4 life insurance policies goes unpaid after the policyholder dies because nobody knew there was a policy in the first place. Somebody paid premiums for years, maybe decades, specifically so their family would be financially protected, and then they died, and the protection never reached the people it was meant for because of a conversation that never happened and a filing cabinet nobody thought to open. I'm Dr. Bunchessa. I've spent the last several months building a library of content on legacy planning, wills, trusts, insurance, advanced directives, the practical side of preparing for what comes after. Today's video is for the people on the other side of that preparation, the family members left behind, trying to figure out what to do next. If someone you love has died, or when that day eventually comes and you need to locate and claim a life insurance policy, this is what to do, step by step. Quick disclaimer. This video is educational, not financial advice. Insurance processes vary by company and by country. Contact your specific insurer for guidance on your claim. Step 1. Figure out if a policy exists. This is a step that blocks most families than any other because you're looking for something you're not sure is there. If the deceased told you about the policy, great. You know the company, you know where the documents are, you can skip ahead to the claims section. But if they didn't, and statistically a lot of people don't tell their families, you're starting from scratch. And that's okay. There's a process for this. Start with their physical space, their desk, their filing cabinet, their home safe, their bedside drawer, that one junk drawer in the kitchen where important things end up next to batteries and takeout menus. You're looking for policy documents, premium notices, letters from insurance companies, or business cards from insurance agents. Then go digital. Search their email inbox for keywords like insurance, policy, premium, beneficiary, or specific company names. MetLife, Prudential, New York Life, State Farm, whatever seems plausible. Check their cloud storage. Check their phone's notes app. People store things in weird places. Check their bank statements. Go back 2 to 3 years. Look for recurring debits or automatic payments to insurance companies. If you see a monthly charge to Prudential or Guardian or a name you don't recognize that turns out to be an insurer, that's your lead. Pull their last 2 years of tax returns. Look for interest income from life insurance companies. That would indicate a permanent policy with cash value, or interest expenses paid to insurance companies, which would indicate a policy loan. Contact their employer's HR department. If the deceased was working when they died, or even if they left a job in the last few years, there may be a group life insurance policy or supplemental coverage still in effect. Some policies have conversion provisions that survive after someone leaves a company. And talk to people, their financial advisor, their accountant, their attorney, their insurance agent if they had one, friends, family, even coworkers. Someone might know something. Watch their mail for up to a year after death. Premium notices are often sent annually, and a notice arriving 6 months from now could reveal a policy nobody knew about. Step 2. Use the free search tools. If the manual search doesn't turn up a policy, or if you suspect there might be additional policies you haven't found, there are tools designed for exactly this situation. The NAIC Life Insurance Policy Locator. This is a big one. It's free. It's run by the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, and it's recovered over $13 billion in unclaimed benefits since it launched. You go to NAIC.org, submit the deceased information, name, date of birth, date of death, Social Security number, and the NAIC forwards your request to all participating insurance companies. If a company finds a match, they contact you directly. The process takes about 90 days. MIB Group Policy Locator. This costs $75 and searches records of life insurance applications, not policies, going back to 1996 across about 420 participating companies. It won't confirm a policy was issued, but it will tell you where someone applied, which narrows your search considerably. State unclaimed property databases. If an insurance company knows a policyholder has died but can't find the beneficiary, they're required to turn the death benefit over to the state as unclaimed property. MissingMoney.com lets you search most state databases at once. Individual state comptroller or treasurer offices also have their own search tools. Individual insurer search tools. Companies like John Hancock, MetLife, and New York Life have online tools where you can search for policies directly. Veterans Insurance. If the deceased served in the military, contact the Office of Service Members Group Life Insurance or the VA Insurance Center. One thing to know, insurance companies change names, merge, get acquired, and sell blocks of policies to other companies. The company your parent bought a policy from in 1992 may not exist under that name anymore. The NAIC and state insurance departments can help you trace name changes and find the current administrator. If this is the kind of content you'd want to have bookmarked for a moment when you actually need it, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Most people don't search for how to claim life insurance until they're sitting in the aftermath of a loss, overwhelmed and racing against a dozen other tasks. Having this video saved and ready means one less thing to figure out during the hardest week of your life. And if you know someone who recently lost a family member and might be navigating this right now, send them this video. It's a small gesture that could save them hours of confusion and potentially thousands of dollars. Step 3. File the claim. Once you've found the policy and confirmed you're the beneficiary, the actual claims process is more straightforward than most people expect. You'll need a few things: a claim form, which you can usually download from the insurer's website or request by phone, the policy number, if you have it, though the claim can proceed without the physical document if you've lost it, a certified copy of the death certificate, not a photocopy, a certified original from the Vital Records Office of the state where the person died. Order multiple copies because you'll need them for other post-death tasks too. Your own government-issued ID and your banking information if you want the payout deposited directly. The claim form asks for basic information: the deceased's full name, date of birth, date of death, cause of death, your relationship to them, and how you'd like to receive the payout. You can submit most claims online, by mail or fax. Some insurers have dedicated claims phone lines that walk you through the process. If you're unsure, call the company and tell them you need to file a death claim. They'll guide you. After you submit, the insurer reviews the claim and may come back with requests for additional documentation. Respond quickly to those requests. Delays in providing documents are the most common reason payouts take longer than they should. Step 4. Receive the payout. Most beneficiaries receive payment within 30 to 60 days of filing a complete claim. Many states require insurers to pay within 30 to 45 days. You'll typically have a choice in how you receive the money. A lump sum, the full benefit paid at once, is the most common option. Some insurers also offer installment payments through an annuity structure or a retained asset account where the company holds the funds in an interest-bearing account that you can draw from as needed. One thing people worry about unnecessarily: taxes. Life insurance death benefits are generally income tax-free to the beneficiary in the U.S. If your policy pays $500,000, you receive $500,000. The exception is if the benefit is paid in installments and earns interest. The interest portion may be taxable. but the death benefit itself is not. There's no deadline to file a claim. If you discover a policy 2 years after someone died, you can still file, but the sooner you do it, the sooner the money reaches the people it was designed to help. What if the claim is denied? It happens, and it's not the end of the road. The most common reasons: the policyholder died within the first 2 years of the policy, the contestability period, and the insurer found discrepancies on the original application, or the death falls under a specific policy exclusion, like within the first 2 years, or the policy had lapsed because premiums weren't being paid. If your claim is denied, request a detailed written explanation. Then consider your options. You can appeal through the insurer's internal process, file a complaint with your state's insurance department, or consult a life insurance attorney, many of whom work on contingency, meaning they don't get paid unless you do. A denial is a setback. It's not a final answer. Check for multiple policies. Don't assume there's only one. A person might have had an individual term policy, a whole life policy, a group policy through their employer, a supplemental policy through a professional association, a converted policy from a previous employer, and possibly veterans coverage. Each one requires a separate claim. Use all the search methods I mentioned: manual search, NAIC locator, employer HR, and cast a wide net. How this works internationally. The core process is the same in most countries. Find the policy, notify the insurer, submit a claim form and death certificate, receive payment. The documents and timelines differ by country. In India, the IRDAI regulates all insurance claims. You submit a claim intimation to the insurer as soon as possible after death. Documents required include the claim form, original policy document, death certificate from the municipality, your Aadhaar card or passport, PAN card, and bank details. If the claim isn't processed within the regulatory timeframe, the insurer is liable to pay penalty interest. One useful detail: claims are admissible regardless of which country the death occurred in. So if someone insured in India dies abroad, the claim is still valid. The contestability period in India is 3 years, not 2. In the Philippines, the Insurance Commission oversees claims under the insurance code. Major insurers require the claim form, original policy contract, PSA-issued death certificate, birth certificate, valid IDs, and proof of relationship. For deaths by accident or violence, you'll also need police reports and medical legal reports. Documents obtained outside the Philippines must be in English and apostilled by the Philippine Embassy. In the UK, if the policy was written in trust, it bypasses probate and the trustee handles the claim directly. If it wasn't in trust, the proceeds become part of the estate and may be subject to inheritance tax if the estate exceeds the nil rate band. This is a significant structural difference from the US, where life insurance proceeds go directly to the named beneficiary, regardless of trust status. In Canada, the process is similar to the US. Payment is typically within 30 days. Proceeds are tax-free to a named beneficiary. The Ombuds Service for Life and Health Insurance helps consumers resolve claim disputes. In Australia, many people hold life insurance inside their superannuation fund. If the policy is inside super, the claim goes through the super fund trustee, who decides how to distribute the benefit. If the deceased had a binding death benefit nomination, the trustee follows it. If there's no binding nomination, the trustee has discretion, which can create delays and disputes. If you take one thing from this video, tell your family about your life insurance. The company name, the policy number, where the documents are. The single act of communication is the difference between a benefit that arrives in 30 days and a benefit that goes unclaimed for years or forever. And if you're the one searching right now after losing someone in the middle of grief, trying to figure out what comes next, I hope this made the process a little less confusing. You don't need to do it all today. Start with one step. Check the bank statements. Submit a request to the NAIC locator. Call the employer's HR, one step at a time. The money will wait for you. I'm Dr. Bunchessa. Thanks for being here. And if this channel has helped you plan for the people you love or helped you navigate a loss, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. That's what keeps us going. See you next time.